Okay, so here we are back for part 2 of portrait feedback. First thing I want to say in this round is, if I mispronounce your name, let me know how it's pronounced, because all I've done is read them so far. I haven't heard them from your mouth. So, yeah, it's just rude to get people's names wrong, and I want to get them right. Anyway, Arini, hope I've got that right. This, I think, is my favourite portrait of the lot. I love these diagonal lines that the shoulders are creating. I just think they're wonderful. It is such a relaxed pose you've put your subject in, and look at that face. I mean, who wouldn't be engaged by that expression? What a wonderful smile. And the light, it's actually a small light source, so it's not as soft as the big light sources we've seen before. And you can tell that because the edge of the shadow is quite sharp. It looks like a single light source in this shot because the shadow is very deep. There aren't other light sources like ambient room light filling in the shadows and lifting them. So it's dramatic lighting with deep dark shadows with crisp edges. And it's super. It really is good. I don't want to crop this. I don't want to do anything to it. I just want to look at it. Great work, Arini. Whose work have we got here? Emma. Emma, I really love this. What strikes me immediately is that blue background. We can clock it immediately. It's a house, right? But because it's soft, it's not distracting. We read it, but it doesn't distract us. And I love the colour separation it creates between the warm skin tones and clothing tone here and the blue in the background. So it really makes your subjects pop out of that background. I love it. Again, we're outdoors on probably an overcast day, so the light is soft, it's fairly even, but there is just enough direction in it to make for some shade and highlight in these lovely faces. Beautiful work. Absolutely beautiful. Regan, you have tried to deliver a really dramatic black and white portrait here, and well done. Couple of little reservations about it. One is, okay, you want the story to be about the sword, obviously, so that is in sharp focus. Here's the thing, it's only got runes written on it, right? There's no information in this writing, they're just runes, unless we can read runes. So why not give us sharp focus on the character? Because we would be able to read the sword anyway, we'd know what it is. So that would be my suggestion. Go for sharp focus on the character rather than the prop. Second thing is, there's no need for watermarks here. Nobody's going to steal your work. Save your watermarks for when you put your work out in the wild or are dealing with clients, but they just get in the way. So in future, forget the watermarks, Regan. Nice bit of black and white. Keep the focus on the character. Chen has done a lovely natural portrait in the garden, well framed. You know, looks like we're just squatting down in the garden, enjoying the plants. Looking a little blue in the face though, and cold skin tones. So what I would suggest is, you know, setting your color balance on shade when you do this, or in post, just warming things up a little. I've just, you know, whacked the color temperature up a little bit, and I just think that makes it a little more user-friendly than those cold tones. Ruth, beautiful colour portrait of a child, taken from the ordinary adult's view of a child. You know, I do think portraits of kids are much more interesting when they're taken at the kid's eye level, and it empowers them more. And he's kind of small in frame, and I'm not 100% sure of his gaze. So if I crop in, as you all know I love to do by now, we actually get a better feel for his eyes and where he's looking, and we do see he's got a lovely direct gaze at us. And I just engage more with this picture rather than the wider, looser crop. Yeah, it just takes me into that wonderful little character face so much more directly. And you know, there's this whole part, it's not exactly negative space because there's a lot going on here, but it's not telling any useful story. So take us to where the action is. Unnamed photographer. Sorry, you didn't put your name on the file, so just going to rip straight into it. I love this. It's really got a strong character with a story to tell. What kind of bugs me a little is, though, that this isn't natural bokeh softening the edges. This is fairly obviously, you know, a kind of softening vignette effect. I wouldn't bother. I would use real bokeh to do that, or a very subtle darkening vignette. But again, I think we're a little loose. There's a lot of sort of, you know, wasted pixels going on, so I want to go in just close enough to take us into the story. You know, here we've got the meadow, which is really telling some story. We've got the fierce character, the direct gaze, and beautiful features. Love the warm tones in this shot, but I just want to be in tighter to where the story is, and not, you know, out here, which is more about tree than character. Next up, we've got Ye's portrait. Am I getting that right? Tell me if it's wrong. This is so beautiful. Look at that expression and pose, and, you know, classy piece of furniture. Nice ring. You know, you're telling us a lot about this character with subtle things like showing off the ring. She's relaxed. Beautiful, beautiful. Very even light, so it's not sculpting the features, but that can be very flattering. I wouldn't mind a little more sculpting though, but we do have some. We've got shadow under the chin, so we don't have the face just melting into the chin in terms of, you know, all even pale tones. So it's pretty nice lighting, very soft and flattering. Again though, I would just go in closer, like that. I don't want to touch this. Beautiful outdoor portrait. Looks like a lovely sort of winter's day portrait. Lots of contrast in it, which I kind of like. And we're down at kid's eye level, which is fantastic. She's in control of this picture. She is demanding our attention. And she just looks like such a lovely little kid. Good work, Samantha. Look at this. Amazing. Professional quality work from Alana. Again, I just want to get closer. Beautiful light, doing everything I'm talking about, coming from high and above and to the side, so it's sculpting the features. It's so soft, this big soft light source, so it's very flattering. And what a fantastic pose. It's a very classical pose, but it doesn't look too posy. It looks natural. And, you know, lovely bit of work with the hair. Just, you know, I'll often do, you know, pose people and light them, and I'll forget the hair, and I'll look at the shot later and go, oh, the hair's messy. But this is natural without looking messy, and that is a sign of someone who's just on top of all the little details. So lovely work, Alana. Vanessa Tanzi. Another great direct portrait. I love the framing in this. I think she's a wonderful size in the frame. Here's the thing for me, the angle of the hair and her pose makes it look like she's falling backwards a little, like leaning out of the portraits. And I often find that with portraits I take when I'm just a little bit higher than my subject. So what I'll end up doing is coming back and tilting and cropping in, just so they're leaning in a little more. And it just gives, you know, people who are leaning into a picture stronger looking than people who are leaning out. That just looks just a little too laid back for me. But here is someone who's got, you know, energy and strength. So that's all I'd do. I think this is lovely. Again, very even light, but even light is flattering. You know, sometimes you want to balance. Are you sculpting and creating features that pop? And are you separating the face from the neck? Just getting enough separation through tone here. But when the light is this even, it is very flattering. It's not showing up lines and stuff that people don't like. Look at this. This is great. You know, another outdoor winter portrait. So it's a little bluish, just to flatter a little more. Debbie, I would warm things up a little, just a little bit, just a little bit, just to pull that cold winter tone off. We could almost go summery if we wanted. It just warm is nice. Again, the eyes are a little low in frame. This is a very fine thing, just a line call, a judgment call, but for my money I want to go closer to that beautiful warm expression and get the eyes up to give her a little more power. That's my call. That's all I would do. Yeah. Anyway, hope you found that interesting and that you got something out of it. The main thing I want you to all take away is I am impressed by your work. I'm really pleased to see it. Okay, that's me for this week. Copeman out.